pandemic in March with the rest of the world, we were forced home, and I was forced home. And the truth is, it had been, I had not had a break like this since I was playing for the University of Miami when I was 18, 19 years old. So it was, you know, to be on that 3, 4, 5 month hiatus was exactly what I did and what we did. But also, you know, it was really, it wound up being one of the silver linings of this whole thing was being able to spend real quality time at home with my wife and my little girls and my family and my mom. We moved my mom in because she's in her 70s, so she was high risk with this, you know, insidious virus. And so that was good. So, you know, we've just been at home and trying to make the most of it, playing teacher, playing nanny, playing daddy, playing husband, playing best friend, things like that. But, and still trying to get the workouts in too, which was very, very important, you know, certainly for, you know, my mentality.
Awesome. So can you tell us what's ahead for you? What kind of upcoming projects you got coming up that you can tell us about?
Well, let's see. We're gonna wrap this one, which is Red Notice, which I'm pretty excited about. And the next movie that I have coming up down the pipeline that I'm gonna start shooting is a movie for DC Comics called Black Adam. And Black Adam is one of the greatest anti-heroes in the world of comics. And we're gonna shoot that as of now. It's gonna be in April. So we have a nice period of time where I'm still gonna be able to be at home and relax with the family and spend time, especially over the holidays. We launched this year, ironically enough, in March when the pandemic hit. We launched a tequila line. And this was a tequila line that it's called Terramana Tequila, which I had worked on for a number of years. We're finally able to get it up and running and going, and we built a distillery down in Jalisco, Mexico. We have over 200 very proud employees. And then pandemic came. But what's interestingly enough, and I'll share this with you guys here, and certainly in large part due to the military, which now I just found out that Terramana Tequila is in almost about 70 or 80% of all the bases here in the United States. And we're growing to around the world. We wound up being the biggest tequila launch in the history of all tequilas, and that's over 200 years of tequila. So really, it was very, very special. And speaking of over 200 years, I do want to say happy birthday to the Marine Corps. So happy birthday.
Hurrah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rock.
Thank you. You're welcome. Happy birthday. That cake looks good there.
And you can get it at the commissary, people.
Commissary cake.
Commissary cake.
Commissary cake. It's a commissary cake. And I got a question for you guys. And how have you guys been? How's the pandemic? You know, when it hit in March, how did it affect the military? How fast did you guys, I'm sure you weren't surprised at, and again, how agile you guys were to act quickly on your feet and continue to maintain. Was it challenging?
Yeah. So it was challenging, obviously, because it was something that we had never dealt with. And so it's kind of like being deployed, but being at home, right? And so, but your mind frame is, when you get deployed, you in the mind frame is, I can't leave post. Like I'm going to be on post. I can only do X, Y, and Z. And then you go from this free living to like, no, you're constricted to the base or constricted to your house. And that throws people off a lot. Of course, we're agile and we look like, you know, we just do it all the time. But from my perspective, and I'm medical by trade. So we were on the front lines where we didn't stop working. We were constantly working. We were making sure that people were safe, trying to make sure, you know, get people back to the fight. And so for us, it was a huge shift for us. Sorry, Major, I can't speak for you though.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, when it hit, I was in South Korea there, Marine Forces Korea. And the primary goal was to protect the force. General Abrams there and Sergeant Major Tagalakud were there, and they protect the force. We shut down, and we actually set the standard, if you will, and how to respond, not only with the military, but the country themselves. The Koreans there, very disciplined, follow the rules, wear the mask. And I think if you look back in the news reports, they always look to Korea. They use South Korea as an example of how to kill the virus.
Hey, show DJ your mask, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I got one of your masks, Rock, right here.
Nice.
I tell you what, It's the most comfortable mask. My cousin up in Maryland got this for me. You should make it a little darker, make these darker so it didn't have so much bling, and we'll wear them in uniform.
You know, Sergeant Major, thank you so much for that. Thank you for the support. You know, we're very proud of that mask. It has 3 layers, as you know, and comfort was important, quality was important. And, you know, as much as loud as the things that I do can be at times, I'm right there with you, Sergeant Major. I'm not a big bling guy, so we're going to dial that down.
Make them a Marpat color, and we'll wear them in uniform without the bling. I like it because your face, your lips don't touch the mask on the inside. That's what's really good about it.
That's
so
right.
For the ladies who wear lipstick, you know, that's good.
Yeah, because we don't need our lipstick touching that.
I did say the ladies.
Awesome.
Yes, sir. Mr. Johnson, as you know, we have soldiers, airmen, sailors, Marines, Coast Guard members, and even Space Force personnel and veterans watching live from all over the world. 2020 has been a bit of a tough year for some. So do you have any words of encouragement to share with our nation's heroes?
I do. Thank you for asking me that. Probably the most important question we could ask in this one. And number one, I want to say thank you. Thank you for your service. And I have, you know, this has been a really tough, challenging year for all of us. And, you know, I am very proud at still our resiliency. And it certainly starts with our foundation for me, and our foundation always starts with our military. So I'm proud of our resiliency. I do believe that we're going to finish this year out strong. I do believe, Sergeant Major, you mentioned what you guys were doing on the ground there in Korea, and you had to me, and the operative anchoring word is discipline. And I think as we continue to apply that discipline to everything that we're doing, certainly as we're trying to combat, you know, this virus and mitigate it, trying to come through the challenges of what's happening now post-election and everything that we're dealing with then as a country too. So I do believe in practicing that discipline, getting to a better place, keeping a positive mindset, and especially, you know, the one thing that I will share that's helped us through the pandemic, and that I really I try to think about every day, not only is an anchor of gratitude, but also just trying to find the silver linings. And what I had realized, if you had asked me prior us getting shut down in 2020 with the pandemic, what's the most important thing in your life? Well, hands down, I would have said my family, my little girls, my daughter, my wife, my close friends whom I love. What the pandemic did for me, and I know it did for a lot of us too, when it's like you were saying, Chief, you know, when you're on post, but then you can't leave. What the pandemic did is actually show me the real reason why, show me my why. And I'm very grateful for that. So I would say to the men and women of our military all over the world, I would say, stay positive, keep that positive mind frame. I do believe in an uptick that we're going to see. I do believe, and I always believe in finishing something strong. May not start off strong. We may get a little wobbly, might try and find our footing a little bit, as we have been, and kind of been knocked down a little bit, got kicked in the gut a few times this year. But we still got up, and I do believe in finishing strong. And I will end this answer with, again, my gratitude and my family's gratitude for your service, all the men and women around the world, and certainly for the families, the wives, the husbands, the children who also sacrifice too at home. Thank you.
Yes. So we appreciate your support, and I follow you on IG as well, and you always have some positive messages for people in general. So thank you for that. So no worries. So when I pushed the promo initially that hey, I was going to have The Rock on the show, I got a text message from one of my airmen that I used to supervise, and she was like, "Oh my God, you got The Rock coming? Hey, I need you to shout him out. I need you to tell him my full name and this, that, and the third." And she was going. I mean, I got plenty of text messages because she absolutely adores you. So so after a while, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let her come on here and tell it to you herself. So I'm going to introduce you to Technical Sergeant Lindsay Claire Rodriguez, because that's your full name, because you wanted me to tell the full name, right? She's coming to you from Keesler Air Force Base, Mississippi, in Biloxi. Hey,
hi,
Sergeant Rodriguez, the floor is yours.
Thank you. First, I would just like to say thank you to my former supervisor, Chief Osby, and for extending this opportunity to me. I'm super excited. And also to Big Daddy for agreeing to come and do this for the I mean, hurt you. So my question is twofold. The first part I would just like to ask, in all of your life's accomplishments, which professional achievement and then which personal achievement has been the most rewarding and fulfilling for you?
Thank you for the question, and thank you for the love, by the way. I appreciate it. I appreciate the love. I would say, in terms of my professional career, I've been a pretty lucky guy over the years to have accomplished a few things, but the truth is, it's actually, I get more out of thinking about the times of the losses and the failures, and I try to keep them at the forefront of my mind. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that keeps me sharp. I get a little weird that way. It's probably why I need therapy. But I will say professionally, and this may surprise a lot of people, is when I look back and now, as you said, Chief, you follow me on social media. Thank you for that. The best thing I believe in my career professionally that happened was actually me getting into social media and embracing it. And I know it's a surprising answer, but at the end of the day, it's the one thing that has really allowed me to connect with people all over the world in an authentic way that there's no filter. The good, the bad, the warts, the ugly, the wonderful, the wins, the losses. And that has really has been just so invaluable in my career, because then it allows me, I can talk about this project, I can talk about that project, but more importantly, I could just have a heart-to-heart connection with people. And that's been the most important thing. And since then, and Chief, you make up this, so thank you, about 4 weeks ago, I wound up becoming the most followed man in America and the most followed American man in the world. And I would say, so it has to do with social media for sure. Because I treat it like a relationship, by the way, and you have to, you know. And again, it allows me just to connect with people. And at the end of the day, that's always the most important thing to me, is just connecting with people. And personally is my family, that I've just been so really fortunate and lucky. You know, my little girls, I have 3 daughters. One's 19, one's 4, the other one's 2. I'm in a house of estrogen. I am surrounded by estrogen. The only testosterone is just me and the dog. And you know, there's that great saying that every man wants a son, but every man needs a daughter. And they have been such an incredible blessing. I was married once, that didn't work out for me. So that out of that marriage, I have a 19-year-old daughter I'm so incredibly proud of. But personally, for me, it's my family.
Ooh, awesome answer. So with that, here's my little follow-up. Would you mind asking Maui to give a shout out to my daughters, Trinity and Gracelyn, and Dr. Bravestone to give his infamous smolder for my sons, Giovanni, Gabriel, and Channing?
Okay. Trinity and
Gracelyn.
Gracelyn?
Yes, sir.
That's beautiful. Okay, so Trinity and Gracelyn. This is Maui. Now I know I don't look like Maui. Where's the hair? But I will tell you this. I still am Maui, and to prove it, let's see. Honestly, listen, kid, I could go on and on. I could explain every natural phenomenon. The tide, the grass, the ground. Oh, that was Maui just around. I killed an eel and I buried its guts, sprouted a tree, now you got coconuts. What's the lesson? What is the takeaway? Don't mess with Maui when he's on a breakaway. And the tapestry here on my skin is a map of the victories I win. Look where I've been and make everything happen. Look at that me minion Maui just tickety-tapping. What can I say except you're welcome? There you go.
Oh, wow.
Right, that was so awesome.
Man,
oh my gosh.
Was that freestyle?
What are your sons' names again? I'm so sorry.
Smolder. Try to give him the smolder.
The smolder, yes. Okay, here we go. Again, that's why I need therapy on this one, because I go around doing that all the time. One day it's going to get stuck there.
Thank you so
Oh, you're so welcome. And how old are your kids?
Whew. Trinity's 18, Giovanni's 14. Then we got Gabriel at 11, Channing is 10, and then my dearest little 6-year-old, Gracelyn.
Oh, those are good
Aw.
ages. Tell them all I said hello, please.
Yes.
Thank you so
Aw.
much.
Awesome. Awesome. So
And Chief,
go ahead.
oh, sorry, Chief. I think it's time to look at the comments and questions. Is that where you were going?
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going. How'd you know? Liz?
Okay. All right, good. Just telepathic through the computer here.
Oh, listen, we here.
So, Mr. Johnson, just want to take a second to share that people are watching from all over the world. Mateus from Germany. Lynn says aloha. Trevor is coming to us from Kabul, Afghanistan. Trina from Kuwait. Corinne from Italy. Sergeant First Class Fontanez is watching from Puerto Rico. There's folks tuning in from Okinawa. So literally all over the world.
Beautiful, guys. Thank you so much for all the love. And again, what an honor it is to speak with everybody. And I wish all of you guys around the world, as you're stationed out there, a great holiday and get back home soon.
So I had a comment on my page that wanted me to ask you how you felt when jabroni officially made the Webster's Dictionary.
It was great.
That's Texar Moore. Texar Augustus Moore asked that question.
Okay. It's a great question. And yes, and so for everyone watching who was unfamiliar in the world of wrestling, I had a whole bunch of catchphrases. I just loved coming up with these catchphrases. One of them was jabroni. It's not a respectful word, so I, as a bad guy, I would call him this jabroni, that jabroni, lay the smack down on that jabroni. And recently, I think in the past 4 weeks, it actually became a real word and recognized in Webster's, I believe it was Webster's Dictionary. And it was very, very cool. But let me just say this is very important. The originator of that word was a very famous pro wrestler. And he is still around and he's highly entertaining. His name is the Iron Sheik.
Oh yeah.
He came up with that word. And I give him so much credit because he came up with the word and he used to say it in the locker rooms. And when I grew up in the world of wrestling, and again, for those who don't know, watching, my dad was a professional wrestler and my grandfather was a professional wrestler. As a matter of fact, my dad was the first black tag team champions in the WWE back in the early 80s. So he was a groundbreaker and a pioneer, and he used to bring me in the locker rooms, and I saw the Iron Sheik all the time at that time, and he would use the word jabroni, and I always remembered it when I was 10 years old. Years later, I was lucky enough to make it famous.
So
Awesome.
So I think we got time for one more question. And I know I kind of want to combine the questions together. We
got 5 minutes, Chief. We got
5 minutes. Okay, cool. So just in the realm of the military, we talk about physical fitness. We talk about mental resiliency. Can you talk about the importance of physical fitness? Because I know you're getting it in at the gym on your IG. Matter of fact, you had one post where you were bleeding, and then Kevin Hart came and did a rendition of you bleeding and talking about you getting in at the gym. And also because it's huge in the military, we got to stay fit to fight, and we also got to be mentally resilient to do what we do on a daily basis. Can you touch on those two topics if you don't mind?
I can. I'm happy to. We have to stay fit to fight in life, in military. And I always believe that the principles and values that being in the weight room working out teaches us, men and women, at a very young age, are things that we can apply to life. And it is that commitment, it's the discipline, it's the sacrifices. These are all elements that are ingrained in the military. But I always feel too, my dad used to take me down to the gym when I was 6, 7 years old. He used to beat my butt a little bit. But then also he would, on the wrestling mats, by the way. But then I would eventually start working out. So for me, training is really my anchor. And yes, there's a physical aspect that I love. I'm a physical guy. I love it. I love grabbing the iron and throwing it around and, continue to screw up my hands with these calluses. But it's the mental aspect that, you realize is really the most important thing. And that's what training allows me to do, because for me, training very early, I like to get up before the sun gets up. For some reason, I have this competition with the sun. If I can beat him up every morning, that I'm in a good place. So I like to train in the mornings very early. but it allows me to clear my mind. It allows me to think about the kind of day that I want to have. It allows me to think about the week, think about, all this, and it just allows me to unplug for a moment, because like with all of us, regardless of whatever the job is that we do, the moment, if we're in the gym, we put the headphones on, or the earphones in, and that's your hour, that's your you time, that's your anchor. And that for me is the mental resiliency that I continue to, harness and try and, continue to work on every day. Because then after that, once we leave the gym, then we belong to the world. We belong to our families and our friends and our jobs and everything else that pulls us in 1,000 different directions. But for me, I do need that. I need my workout time every single day, some sort of physical activity that just allows me to reset and plug in to, that particular work assignment in the gym for the day.
Hey, DJ, it looks like we have one more shout out here for you. It looks like Amber from Fort Hood. She has a son named Jerry. He wants to know if you can do a happy birthday wish for him. 6 years old.
For Jerry?
For Jerry out of Fort Hood.
Hey, buddy. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jerry. Happy birthday to you. Okay, remix. It's your birthday. No, I can't.
There you go, Amber.
Happy
So
birthday.
make sure and show that to Jerry.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
So, DJ, we really, really appreciate you. It's been an honor and
We could do another. We got 2 minutes if you want to do a question.
We got another question.
Let's do it.
Riley is asking about cheat meals. That's from Riley.
Cheat
He's
meals,
asking
yes.
if you can share a cheat meal.
That's a good way to end it. Yes. That's a commissary cake right there in the background.
Go celebrate the Marine
Right
birthday.
here, commentary.
So much like training, when we talk about training and how I need training, just for my mental capacity and stability, you need the cheat meals. And, I follow I'm a pretty regimented guy from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. That includes my meals, and everything is measured out, and I eat I eat the same thing every single day, days and weeks and weeks. It's pretty much the same thing. But the weekly cheat meals are important. So not only are they important to reset your body and your body's chemistry, but also, again, just, kind of reset the mind. So I go full out, full tilt boogie. I do a French toast, but instead of cutting little slices, I'll cut them in like 4 or 5 inch.
Oh.
I don't mess around. I'll do that, and then I'll put peanut butter and I'll put syrup on it, and then I'll add. I started doing this. I started adding Terramana tequila to the syrup, mixing it up a little bit, pouring that on the French toast. But I do that, but also just with my babies and the girls now, they've reached that age where ice cream or cake or whatever it is. So I love enjoying it with them too, and it just becomes like a family thing.
Awesome. I just got to stop eating cheat meals like 4 times a week. Then I'll do a lot. I'll do a lot better.
It's not a cheat meal if it's every day.
Oh yeah, man. Gotcha. So, DJ, man, we really, really appreciate your time. I know you're on the set of a movie that we're hoping to see next year, definitely in the theaters. AFES, we're going to bring it to theaters so our military members can watch it. Please know this means so much to our airmen, soldiers, sailors, Marines, Coast Guard members, Space Force personnel. That's our newest service. Happy birthday to the Marine Corps once again. And then Veterans Day is tomorrow. So freaking happy Veterans Day to everybody that has worn this uniform, man, because there's a lot that comes along with it, man. And just I've been personally proud to be a part of such an awesome organization, brotherhood, sisterhood, all that good stuff. So thank you again for giving us some time. We really appreciate you. We support you. We definitely appreciate the calmness and the entertainment that you bring to our households, because even when we're in hectic situations, we can have you do your Maui, or we can just have a reason to smile, man. So thank you for giving us a reason to smile.
No, thank you so much for that, Chief. Thank you for holding that up, Sergeant Major. And by the way, I'm going to come back to the team, and we're going to create exactly what you're asking for our military. You have my word. That's going to happen with that mask. We're going to create a new one for you guys. But thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it, and I've been looking forward to this for some time now. And but also to everybody around the world, and certainly our veterans. Tomorrow is Veterans Day, and active, non-active, and again, families. I am truly, truly grateful. I've had the real privilege and honor over the years to shake hands with and bear hug hard men and women of our military and their families, and I'm truly, truly grateful for your service, and very proud. We have a lot of very proud military men and women in our own family, in my own family, currently now in the Navy, decorated out of the Navy too as well. So I thank you, and I always surround myself with good military men too as well, just in terms of my own security detail. It's always very important. So because I will say this, you can always rely on, this is what I say, you can always rely on, there's just a moral compass that you could bet your hard-earned dollar on. That's always there with our military men and women. So I thank you guys. I support you too, and I love you very much. Thank you.
All right, have a good one.
Awesome. Yay.
See you guys.
Yeah. Chief Chat out.
Chief Chat out.
Stay strong.